I think it's time to take a look at the second installment of Summer Games by Epyx. Summer Games 2.
RetroKork.
Summer Games 2 is the sequel to Summer Games, which is, oddly enough, similar to Winter Games, except with summer sports. And like its prequel, doesn't have the Olympic license. That one's reserved for later titles. If you've seen my episode on Summer Games, you pretty much know what to expect. The opening ceremony after the title screen. But this opening ceremony is a revamped version of the original one. And after the opening ceremonies, you have a lot of choices. You can compete in all events, you can compete, and that's new, in some events, or heck, only one event. You can practice. You can also select the number of joysticks, and you can look at the high scores, the world records, which are saved. If you want to, you can also replay the opening ceremonies. Also, you can watch the newly added closing ceremonies on their own. So, yeah, you know the drill. You choose a nation and listen to a short segment of its national anthem. Except for Australia. I mean, there we still have Waltzing Matilda. After that, you're again kind of forced to watch the opening ceremony, which you can avoid by pressing fire. So, which are the sports you compete in? Triple jump, where, unlike commonly expected, you jump 3 times. You jump for the first time by pushing right, jump for the second time by pushing right, and the third time by pushing left. Oh, and you can delay the second and third jumps a bit by pushing your joystick upwards, just to stay in the air a bit longer. Rowing. Press fire to start a race, then pull the rudder through the water by going left and right and left and right. Keep those rudders moving and you're good to go. Javelin throw. You need to throw the javelin as far as possible without stepping over the line. You start running by pressing the fire button, and you speed up by hammering it as fast as possible. When you pull the stick to the left, you tilt the javelin and decide on the throwing angle, and releasing the joystick releases the spear. Equestrian. As you may have expected, this is horses on a parkour. I myself, I'm horrible at this event. Well, not as horrible as I'm at one of the later ones, but anyway. But I can at least try to explain what you have to do. Jump over the obstacles and don't fall off the horse. Pushing the joystick up makes your horse go faster. Pulling it down makes your horse go slower. Pushing to the right at the appropriate time makes your horse jump, and pushing to the left makes you land appropriately. Properly. If you miss the jumping point, your horse will refuse to go over the obstacle and jump too fast and you fall off your horse. Anyway, when you stand in front of an obstacle and your horse just refused to go over it, well, you pull back to make a turn and try again. You'll also gain penalty points. 6 points per fall, 20 points per refusal, and 1 point per second you're taking when you take more than 50 seconds. After 100 seconds, or alternatively 99 penalty points, you're automatically disqualified. Next event is high jump, which kind of has 2 stages in itself. First, the running up, and then the jump. Pushing to the right makes you start running, and if you go in sync with the steps and push to the right over and over, pretty much like you're tapping, makes you run faster. Move closer or further away from the bar by pushing the joystick up or down. Fire starts the jump, and by pushing up you try to jump over the bar, doing what is called a Fosbury flop. Just don't hit the bar, because then of course you fail. Next is fencing. Weave your joystick around to defend yourself. Firing right makes you go right, firing left makes you go left, firing up or down starts an appropriate attack. The player who lands 5 hits, or the one who landed the most hits within the 3-minute time limit, wins. Oh boy. Cycling. This is what I refer to as a joystick killer. Also, it's not the one I'm good at. I'm really bad at cycling, in the real world and in this game. To speed up your bike, you have to move your joystick in a clockwise circular motion, and you need to point where the arrow indicates. And finally, kayaking, where you need to drive through 15 gates. Most of them you have to go through forward. By going left or right with your joystick, you turn your kayak. By pushing up, you accelerate where you're looking, and by pulling back, you speed up in the opposite direction. Beware that gate 10 has to be taken upstream, even though it doesn't tell you that. Oh, what I didn't tell you, you've seen... Could we please get the menu again? Yeah, there. There's the possibility for you to combine Summer Games 2 and Summer Games, except that for most pirated versions, this results in crashes and problems. This, however, doesn't happen, of course, with the original discs. And there are some specific versions which are both hacked by the same group that allow you to perform both. Single-site hacks, though, usually don't allow for that. If you want to know which versions work with each other, I suggest you go on to, let me see, that website there, c64wiki.com. If you have an American or European Wii, you can download Summer Games 2 on your virtual console for, I believe, 500 Wii points, so no need to set up a Commodore 64. And yeah, that's all I can tell you about the game. So, you know what? Let's watch the closing ceremonies, okay? 2 weeks from now I'm going to talk about a shoot 'em up called Katakis.